Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here for part 2 of our Cabral HouseCalls. We'll be answering another 6 questions today from our community on all things wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, and as I always say, everything in between. So as long as we know that we are not providing medical advice here on the Cabral Concept, any medical treatment plans or medical cures, then we can go ahead, take a look at these brand new questions, which I haven't even seen yet. And I'm going to give you my perspective, my opinion on where you may want to go in order to rebalance the body for robust health and wellness. All right, so let's dive into today's questions. Open up the document. Yesterday's questions were at stephencabral.com/2101. And if you'd like to follow along with these questions, you can go to stephencabral.com/2102. All right. So let's get to the first question. The first one is from Samantha. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I ran the Big 5 and found out I have an extreme sensitivity to vanilla. I also found out I need to stick to a low oxalate diet. Would you suggest I take the daily activated multivitamin instead of drinking the daily nutritional support shake, since I can't have vanilla or cocoa because it's high in oxalate? If so, what would you suggest for a substitute on protein? Thank you once again for bringing awareness to so many health concerns. Because of you, I was able to bring my TSH number down on my own using Adrenal, Soothe, and daily thyroid support. Amazing. Happy to hear that, Samantha. That's fantastic. Okay. I have not met a human alive that has not been able to use the daily nutritional support powder because of high oxalates. I've yet to meet that human. They may exist, but I've yet to meet them. So no issues, in my opinion, with the daily nutritional support powder and oxalates. It's just, they don't affect each other. It doesn't seem at all there's a connection. However, they definitely do have vanilla. It's an organic vanilla. So when you see natural flavors, a lot of people get bananas about that because somebody on social media tell them it comes from black mold or GMO corn. First of all, we work with people on mold, and we would never, all of our products are non-GMO. So you don't have to worry about that with us. We just follow the FDA's rules and guidelines. Not everybody does because they don't want to write that. We do. So on our daily fruit and vegetable blend, it comes from organic apple extract, but you have to write natural flavors, just the way that the FDA says it is. And our daily nutritional support, natural, comes from the vanilla extract, right? Non-GMO. So what I'm sharing with you is that you would be fine using the daily nutritional support if it was oxalates, but not with the vanilla sensitivity. So you will remove the daily nutritional support for 6 weeks, 12 weeks, or 6 months, depending on the severity. And then you can always retest. Now, what would you do? Well, you'll take 2 daily activated multi for breakfast and 2 daily activated multi at your dinner. So that will give you a lot of the vitamins. Then you'll still need a protein for your AM smoothie. If you are not, so there's some great plant-based proteins out there. You can use a pea-based. You can use a pea and rice, which is we prefer just because there's a little bit more of a nice amino acid blend. And you can also use hemp protein as well. So those are great. I don't like straight rice protein. We have very little in ours. It's about 10%. And just because if you're taking in like 20 grams of rice protein at a time, unless it's been tested for arsenic, you could have higher levels of arsenic. So I certainly don't recommend that. So again, if I wasn't to use the daily nutritional support, I would most likely use a hemp protein. Okay. All right. With the daily activated multivitamin, because the hemp protein doesn't have your vitamins and minerals. All right. Jen's up next. I wanted to put in a request for you to do an entire show on the root causes of hypoglycemia. There's a lot of talk surrounding high blood sugar, but my problem is low blood sugar, and it really disrupts my life. I know this isn't a simple answer, so I'd love to hear a full episode on the topic if you'd be willing. Jen, I am willing, and I'm going to write it inside of my podcast spreadsheet topics for the future. And I'm right in right now. You can hear me clicking away. Hypoglycemia. All right. And I'm going to put causes. All right. So we will go through that. I just want to share just a little story of myself. I had hypoglycemia for I had it known for about 7 to 10 years. But also, I'm sure I had it all of my childhood, which led to allergies and inflammation and mood issues and irritability and brain fog and all sorts of issues. So a lot of mine was adrenal based. So I'll share that more in the future because you're right, it is a complicated topic, but we can make it easy. We can make it simple, but we do have to explain it, right? Because it's not just about the foods you eat. That's important. But it's also, if you can't regulate the HPA axis and you keep spiking what are called glucocorticoids and sugar's up, and then your insulin is released from the pancreas, and insulin pulls in the glucose to be stored as glycogen, and it's dysregulated. Too much insulin is released, or you're actually using energy at the same time. It can drop blood sugar, and so again, we don't look at just food. We also look at hormones, which I think is the best way to do it. So, Jen, if you haven't already, I would run the lab. It's called the Stress Hormones Mood and Metabolism Lab. You can find the direct link, StephenCabral.com/hormones-test, or you'll be able to find it at StephenCabral.com/labs, where all the labs are. You want to find out if it's an adrenal cortisol issue as well. All right. Jason's up. Hello, Dr. Cabral. First of all, thank you for all the content. I really appreciate it. I've been suffering with chronic non-bacterial prostatitis for the last couple of years. Typical symptoms include frequent urgent urination, poor urine flow and hesitancy, at times painful urination with milky, cloudy discharge, lower abdomen pain, testicular pain, perineum pain. The urinary symptoms are present 24/7. However, the pain will come and go. My last flare-up was really painful. I've already been prescribed different antibiotics over the years. My doctors used to say I had epidemitis. However, it kept coming back year after year. I finally referred to urology, and they said it was non-bacterial prostatitis. I couldn't take Flomax due to the side effects. I had a CT scan, which came back normal, ultrascan normal, STDs cleared, blood test, neutrophil slightly low. Doctors have assured me it's nothing to worry about. I have a peanut nut allergy, so I avoid these foods at all costs. I work out 3 to 4 times a week, use traditional sauna 4 times a week. Any advice would be much appreciated. All right. A lot of information and happy to help. Work with many, many men with urinary flow issues and prostate issues. Happy to help you as well. So what we need to do is figure out why the prostate is inflamed. Now, it's not always important to ask why the prostate. So men and women have different issues. Breast inflammation, cysts, cancer is an issue. Men, prostate inflammation, not really cysts, but cancer, definitely an issue, right? So we don't always ask why those two areas. They are affected on both men and women, but we do always want to know why the inflammation. So I have seen higher levels of cadmium and certain types of heavy metals cause inflammation and prostatitis. Prostatitis, think prostate plus itis equals inflammation, right? Itis just means inflammation of whatever it's talking about. So my goal with someone like yourself is to run the big 5 labs and to figure out what do your omega-6s to omega-3 levels look like, right? To help with overall inflammation. What does your testosterone to estrogen ratio look like? What's your overall DHEA look like? I want to look at all these different factors because you're already doing great. You're doing a lot of great things, exercise, sauna, etc. So I want to see what's going on and then try to help from that perspective of reducing the toxicities and also replacing any deficiencies. So that's where I would start. I wish I could give you one silver bullet, but I'd be doing you a disservice if I did that, right? Temporary relief. Okay, temporary relief. You could do some sitz baths with cold water and put in some Epsom salt. That can be nice for relieving a little bit of pain and inflammation at the time. But again, we're not talking about root cause, all right? And I like to get to the root cause. Matt's up next. A friend recently recommended Stir Water Enhancers. It contains stevia, but also contains natural fruit flavor, concentrated white grape juice, citric acid. However, 0 calories, but contains 1 gram of carbs. Will this break my fast for weight loss? All right. Kind of mentioned this before. I have a podcast on what foods break a fast and what don't. So I would love for you, Matt, to go to stevencabral.com/podcasts and just search for, you can even just type it in, what foods break fast, and it should be able to pop right up there. I have not heard of Stir before, and again, I always say that I never look up these products because there just isn't time to answer everyone's questions and look up all these things. But I'm very interested in products that I haven't heard of before, and so I'm trying to blast open those ingredients: purified water, natural fruit flavor, concentrated white grape juice, vitamin C for ascorbic acid, citric acid, fruit vegetable juice, natural stevia extract. Well, again, I don't know the product at all. I don't know the company. I don't know if they believe in non-GMO, but this looks pretty benign. I don't know where their citric acid is coming from. Excuse me. But if it's a non-GMO company, it's not coming from GMO corn. So I guess that's pretty important to look at as well. Again, I just don't know enough about this company to be able to recommend it. So what I'll do is I'll answer the question about the 1 gram of carbs. 1 gram of carbs should not be enough to kick you out of a fast. It's not going to dysregulate blood sugar. There should be no issue here with that. All right. But again, if you want, you can always just get an at-home glucometer and just test your blood sugar 20 minutes after having this drink or 30 minutes after having the drink. Okay. Angela is up next. Angela says, "Aloha, Dr. Cabral. I don't need to waste precious airtime proclaiming you are worshipped in my house as a demigod. Kahuna." Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Certainly Hawaii is one of my favorite places in the world. And I had the benefit of being able to visit all the way up until the lockdowns. And I was actually there, believe it or not, on a stop back from Australia. And, we were in the quarantine, we're all that. And it wasn't our, I love Hawaii so much. And that last experience wasn't what I wanted to be. So I can't wait to eventually get back there. It's just one of those places that if you're willing to do the flight, is a very beautiful place. But anyway, let's get to your question. So instead, I will pose a question about bone loss. I use a smart scale, which now says I lost 0.4 pounds of bone mass over the last 2 months. I'm now in the inadequate zone of bone mass, and it has me concerned. The only different I've been doing in the last 2 months is perhaps eating less meat and not as much resistance training. What do you think about the accuracy of these smart scales, especially ones for bone mass, fat, muscle composition? Are there any dietary changes or supplements I should take to increase bone mass? 51 years old, perimenopausal, trying to prevent old folk problems. I eat a plant-based diet with fish once a week. I'm waiting for my Big 5 lab results to come back as well. Will those results shed light on my bone health? As always, mahalo for your knowledge, Angela. Mahalo, Angela. I appreciate that. So here's the thing. These scales are good. I give recommendations on them, but not great on reading bone mass. If you had a loss of weight and bone mass went down, I'd be suspect. If weight stayed the same, but bone mass went down, might be onto something, okay? Now, here's what I can say is this. You want to make sure you still are getting enough zinc, calcium, vitamin D. I talked about this on the cofactors. Let me give you this show, Angela, because it came out. You asked this on September 22nd, and this airs on November 7th. So I did a show called "The Missing Cofactors for Absorbing Vitamin D," which is super important for the bones, and that's 2083. So you want to check out that show. You need enough protein, okay? You need enough of all the cofactors for vitamin D that I spoke about. You need enough calcium, but never take calcium without magnesium. And then you need enough resistance training 2 to 3 times a week. So, and then you're going to get back your hormones test, make sure your estrogen levels, progesterone levels are still strong enough, right? We need to look at all these factors. So it's not one. Again, bone loss is multifactorial. So don't let your medical doctor say, oh, you need more calcium. Oh, you need more vitamin D. that's 2, right? That's not enough. But we actually have heard this from so many women that we are formulating right now what we believe to be, that upper echelon of products for healthy and strong bones. And that will be out with our new longevity line, which is launching in January. Super excited for that. These have taken over a year in the making. And I've been using many of them, not the bone ones, but many of them for mitochondrial health, for anti-inflammatory health, myself for many years now. So excited to put this into actual formula. All right, Angela, hopefully that was helpful. And you will get a personal plan because of that Big 5 Labs. If people don't know what the Big 5 Labs are, definitely check them out. Just go to StephenCabral.com/big and then the number 5. All right. Chris is up next and last. Hi, Dr. Cabral. First, I'd like to thank you for being a huge part of who I am today. Your teachings have improved my life in so many ways. My question is about parasites. Well, thank you, Chris. I just want to appreciate you and acknowledge you and everyone else who had all these kind words and wrote in with all these questions. I had a parasite and took the parasite protocol from Equilife, and all my parasite symptoms went away. Since one of, if not the only bad things about eating organic produce is the higher chance of ingesting parasites, I've seen several videos of people putting organic produce under a microscope and seeing worms inside things like berries. I know there are ways to wash the outside of produce, but what do we do about the parasites inside? I'm worried I'll just keep getting them no matter how many parasite protocols I do. Yeah, this is a common concern because you can get parasites not just from undercooked meat or fish, but actually from lettuce leaves at your local salad bar. So what you try to do is you try to wash your produce. We soak ours in apple cider vinegar and water at home. And then, dry it, pat it dry, put it in the refrigerator afterwards. Or if you're just going to serve it, then serve it. Great, wash it clean. And the other thing that you do is you keep your digestive system strong. Because remember, we're probably getting parasites quite a bit. But if our stomach acid is there, right? If our pepsin is there inside the stomach, it's going to destroy those parasites and kill them because it heats them up. Can't live in that type of heat, that type of acid, and they die. So they move through your digestive tract, but they're dead, and they come out in your stool. 50% of your stool is bacteria anyways. So just keep that in mind. Nice, healthy, strong digestive system. Daily digestive enzymes with meals. Has bromelain in there, has papain in there. If you want, you can use a little HCl with meals, especially protein-based meals. And keep that digestive system healthy and strong. It's also why I do recommend, Chris, if you listen to my podcast on the 4, and I'm putting this in air quotes, cleanses to do every year, Parasite Protocol is one of them. If you haven't listened to that show, everybody, check it out. You can go to StephenCabral.com/podcasts, type in 4 cleanses to do every year, or you can always use, as they say, Dr. Google and type in Stephen Cabral 4 cleanses to do every year, and you'll be able to find that show. All right. Thank you, everyone, for writing in today. I appreciate you. I really do. Your reviews, your support, it really does mean the world to me. So thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow with our Mindset and Motivation Monday for the week. Don't miss it. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. I want to make sure that before you leave, you know about this special offer going on over at Equilife. It is called our Shake It Up offer. We are giving away our free Pro Stack bottles. These are basically 4-in-1 shaker bottles that allow you to take 3 servings of your favorite daily nutritional support powder or other type of protein powder, plus all of your capsules for the day with you. Pretty amazing shaker bottle for what it does. People love it for the functional medicine detox because they can take 3 servings during the day with them to work or to school or whatever it might be. So we've got that Pro Stack shaker bottle, $19.95 value. Plus, we're also giving away your choice of the shaker bottle or our white tumbler. Our white tumbler enables you to keep your cold drinks cold or your hot drinks hot. So hot green tea, hot herbal tea, whatever it is that you enjoy drinking, you can get that white tumbler as well. So to see all the details for a free shaker bottle or free tumbler, head on over to StephenCabral.com/Equilife to see those additional details and how you can get yours free. Take care, everyone.